good.
So that's, are we live yet?
We are indeed.
We are
Stephen,
indeed.
we are indeed.
Hello everybody, how you doing? We Paddy from across the shuck, and I have my friend Jud here, and this is going to be a little impromptu one. We just want to get back in the wagon again. We haven't done one since before Christmas.
Yeah,
I think it's before Christmas.
The eve of Christmas Eve.
Yes, and then Justin had a wee break and all with his wife there, a romantic date away. So we're just back at it again now. So this is just for you. If you has anybody joined yet? Has anybody come in yet?
No, that's fine.
No, we still haven't got anybody in yet. But we'll wait a while, and it literally is going to be for any questions. I've got a stack of knives out in front of us here. We can show them to you. Any knives you want to talk about. Justin has a wee piece he wants to do on sack knives.
Yeah,
so we'll do that while we're here. And any other questions you want to ask, just please feel free to do so. I feel very weird. I'm looking away from the camera.
Yeah.
So we're both looking that way.
That's because the camera's up there.
Ah, that could be the difference.
We're looking at that one, and the camera's up there.
Yes,
I think
that's what I've got to remember. Right? Okay.
Anyway, we shouldn't be looking. The camera doesn't exist.
It does to me. I'm pretty.
Well, you are now. That haircut.
There's still nobody in.
Not as far as I can tell. No.
Hurry up, or I'm going to sulk, and I'll just turn it all off.
Maybe they didn't get enough notice.
I was on, while we're just filling in a wee bit of time space here, I was on RJ's Knives podcast last night, and I think we went on for just over 3 hours. 5 silly old buggers sitting around talking for 3 hours, and it went past in a flash, and it was brilliant. He's a really lovely channel. If you get, I was going to say good evening to whoever that is, but I couldn't pronounce that name.
It's Spiros.
It's Spiros.
I think it's
and,
Spiros.
Byron Kennedy's in. Hello, how are you? Really nice to see you, Byron. And I was just saying there before you come on, this is just an impromptu one. We haven't done a video since before the Christmas break, and we're just doing a wee run-in to get ourselves back into the way of it. And it's amazing how much I forgot technically since then. There's Knife Delights. He was in the program last night. Lovely to see you. Yeah, so this is just going to be very impromptu. It's just going to be, if you've got any questions you want to ask us, if you want to see any knives that you know either of the two of us has. And Justin has a wee thing he wants to say about sack knives. Yeah. Hello, Jason.
Good to see you all.
Do you want to leave that for a wee bit before you do it, or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I mean, we've got to service the customers at first. And if Knife Delights wants to see a spade blade, I think you got to show him a spade blade.
It's Knife Delights is I've got to get a buck 102. That's my next hunt. Is a buck 102.
Right, fair enough.
He's the buck man.
Oh, right.
He really is the buck man. He's got some beautiful collection of buck knives.
There's no accounting for taste, I suppose.
That's what I get him all the time for that. I constantly harass him. He had a fall last week. By the way, few little prayers to go to Tom's way at Knife Delights. He had a fall. He was clearing snow on his outside of his house and fell over and fell on his back on the corner of a brick.
Oh, no.
And he broke a clatter of ribs, and he's been in real pain. Last night he was doped up, and although I'm not too sure in the doped up, he didn't sound any different to me. But I really wish you, Tom, a speedier come. You hope today you've got even better. He was a bit better yesterday, but about 3 or 4 days of severe pain.
So is Tom one of the old geezers on RJ's
He
Knives?
is one of the old geezers, yes.
And I don't know why I'm calling you guys old geezers, because I'm just edging towards that club myself. It has to be said. But
show Tom a spade blade.
Personal like. Do you even have a spade blade other than on a Stockman?
I don't have a single spade blade knife. No, they're very rare. You don't get. That's why I've got an order in with Ashley, who's going to make me my own spade blade, single bladed knife.
No, that would be something.
So I'm looking forward to that. He says he has a great design. I just leave that with Ashley. Go ahead, you do it. So I'm really looking forward to getting that. Really am. So, any questions there, boys? Give us a question or two. This is my favorite spade blade. I'll do this while I'm waiting for you to get your brain into gear there, boys. This is the best spade blade.
Oh, this is the bullet.
This is the Remington bullet knife. And this is the best spade blade. This is the best peanut butter spreader that I have ever had. It is gorgeous, and it's a big knife. This there's a full 4 fingers. I have a large hand, huge big knife. The spay blade is 3.5 inches long. 3.5 inches long. A beautiful big spay blade. Oh, going the other way, and it's the Remington bullet knife.
Yes, Tom, you'll probably never forgive me for that one, but I own it. I own it. Won't do it again. But the Remington is a lovely knife.
Yeah,
actually. And it's such. I mean, Stephen always talks about he has fairly large hands. I have tiny little girlish hands. So this monster in this hand, I mean, it's just enormous. It is a big knife, that one. So
but they fit, even though you've got that hump, that sort of hump at the center of the knife. When you've got the other blade down, it doesn't affect it at all. You're actually holding on. You try holding that.
I know it is,
and it's not an uncomfortable knife. It's nicely rounded.
Just because I admitted to having girlish hands doesn't mean that I don't know how to hold a knife.
He has.
Beautiful,
beautiful knife. Now, there we go. Is there any particular topic you would like us to talk about? Please let us know.
Oh, bless. Jason's just said, oh, hang on a second. Let me show this one up. So Jason is scared to watch us now, as he has a canes to wedge in green fat car. What's that? A canes to I don't know what that.
I can't read that. Can we make that bigger? No, or do you lose all?
We'll lose the chat if we do.
Can we do it that way? Put it on there? No.
Let's see. No, this is as good as it's going to get. Let's see if we can go.
We're still working.
We can move between chat and.
Scared to watch this, as I now have a canes to wedge in green fat carbon fiber and a few Jack Wolf knives because of you two.
Hey, I'm innocent party in all this. He's the enabler. I'm just along for the ride.
2 Jack Wolf knives now. Yeah. He bought another one.
And guess who bought it off? So yes, the Midnight Jack, and I have to say it hasn't been out of my pocket since.
Yeah, that's what friends do. They enable other people to get to
the only reason he sold me this was because he had bought himself something else after promising me and Sally, I have to admit, that he wouldn't buy any more knives until at least the end of January. And then
I'm a liar.
He is a big
I'm a big fat liar.
Fibber.
Talk about knives and I'm a big fat liar. Can I move that camera down a bit? Would it be any better? No, for Sean, I don't know. Yeah,
that's better.
That's better, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's better. I just want you to see me more clearer because I've had my hair cut, Tom. I'm looking sprightly and shape. I hadn't had my hair cut for a couple of months, I think.
So, Jason, what was that? What should have? Oh, a concept wedge. Yes.
All right.
Yes, I have a concept myself, and it's a lovely knife.
I haven't got one of them yet.
No, it's a
bit small, isn't it?
It is. It's a tiny little knife, but it is a lovely put together. I find it a little bit thick behind the edge for what it is, but it's nicely designed.
I handle it, and I didn't find it. I still find I could use it now. I have to say.
Oh yeah,
I could use. We don't have it here at the minute.
It sits nicely in the hand, and the slip joint version of it is the bevy, isn't it?
The bevy, that's right. Yeah.
I got the lock-in version because I just like the back lock on it. But
I mean, I still love this. This Benchmade 945. I didn't think I would ever like this because I love the Benchmade 940. I thought I don't need any smaller. But to be honest with you, I carry this far too regular for somebody that lives in a country that's not allowed to carry them. It's just a beautiful little knife, really nice knife.
It is a class one. I do. I mean, if I was going to go for a Benchmade, that one would probably be the one that would be top of the.
And I would say
top of the choice list.
The one thing that is a bit different is it's thinner behind the edge. It's a much better cutter.
So it's a great.
So slicer. It's more of a pen knife. Again, that pen knife theme comes up on my my talk quite a lot. I like pen knife size knives. Just because they're locking doesn't mean I need a 4.5-inch blade.
Mm-hmm. Very, very much
so. By the way, some of these, and especially this green one, so let me get that up there for you. This is the Jack Wolf knives. This is the... Come on.
Hey guys, sorry about that. Wee Wi-Fi drop there.
Sorry, boys.
Are we back, fellas? We are indeed.
We had a Wi-Fi hitch.
Can everybody hear us now? Okay. Can somebody? Oh yes, Warncliffe Whittler and the Knife Raven. Yes, we're back. You thought you were getting off easy? No.
Yes. To go back to this, the low drag Jack Wolf knife is still available at Fraymar Knives, and even this green one, which is beautiful. I suppose people are skint after Christmas. I can understand that, but there's still a few left at Fraymar Knives, and the what do you call this stuff again?
The twisted assisted.
No, the material.
Oh, micarta.
The micarta, yeah, the micarta ones. Old age is wonderful.
This is the only reason why he has me.
The micarta ones are still available as well, but honestly, this is now my number one Jack Wolf knife. It's such a good, and it's S90V, not M390, which is fabulous. Fabulous.
It's a lovely looking knife, I have to say. And you know me, I was never a fan of the fat spears, but I have been converted, I have to say. But yeah, absolutely lovely one.
Yeah, I must admit, I've seen America. There's still quite a few left in America. So it's probably, January's not a great month for a lot of people. And especially in this climate, you're a bit scared to spend too much money on it's luxury. Yeah. Knives are luxury compared to what other people have to put up with.
There's Jason agrees with your opinion on it anyway. So at least one other person agrees with you. That is the first in itself. Somebody agrees with Stephen.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just the best all-round knife there is there. Is it the most attractive? No, I don't think it's the most attractive. I still think his new model, the Cyborg, I just love the look of that knife. It's beautiful. This is another wee knife that I've been enjoying. This is another UK legal.
That's the Who 2.
That's the Who 2. The Who 2 in titanium M390. I get a 10% discount if you go to the video on my channel. This is coming in at in the 150-ish mark. It's just an absolutely fabulous knife for that price. I mean, it's stone washed titanium, lovely, well cut blade, not the thinnest behind the edge. It's a proper EDC knife, and I have to say, absolutely beautiful. It's as nice as, and I'm going to say them words again, the Chris Reeves small, the small. Now, when I'm saying it's as nice as in that style of knife, it's as nice
as opposed to
there is a difference between this and a Chris Reeves. But if you can't afford £350-400, true, this is £150, and you're getting the same materials as such. Well, better blade steel, but you're getting that titanium. And it doesn't, because it's tumbled, it doesn't wear as much, although some people like patina of the scratches on the titanium. But, as an option,
if you wanted a high quality knife in that
it's a nice
style,
knife. Yes,
it's a nice
knife. It's £200 cheaper. Is the Chris Reeve worth £200 more? Yes, if you like Chris Reeve. Yeah. And I've had one, I know they're good. But this is an amazing, and you just have to be realistic sometimes. I mean, I haven't got £450 to spend. 150 I can get. Do you know what I mean? So really, really nice knife. Who Knives? Go and check them out on Instagram and on the webs.
Yeah, Jason has the version 1, and apart from being a bit heavy, he
says it's a good, I've had it too. Yeah, knife. That's a good knife.
Okay, we do have a couple of questions coming in. So hang on a second. There's one from the Knife Raven, Stephen.
Yes.
Have you seen the Rough Rider Reserve Quillcliff?
I have.
And what do you think of it?
It looks nice because it's a single-bladed Rough Rider. It's small, and I do quite fancy it. But there's only one but. I've other things on my radar at a minute, and I know it's only about 68 quid or something. That 68 quid I'm saving up for something else.
It's all about the opportunity.
Yeah, it really is. But I love the single-bladed Rough Riders. Now, this is only 3 inches.
So it's quite
it's a small knife, and the blade is even smaller than the 3-inch handle. It's not They haven't used all the handle. So it is definitely more of a whittling type knife.
Yeah.
But it looks really good, I have to say.
As a quill clip, I mean, what shape is a quill clip then? I mean, is it a worn clip?
It's a worn clip, yeah. It's a worn clip, and they're sort of playing on that name to sharpen your quill.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what they did. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's just a wee single blade, and it looks lovely.
The Knife Raven loves it. So
great.
That's a good recommendation.
Well, that's good, because hopefully at the end of the year, it's the sort of knife that I would pick up.
Absolutely. Hello to everybody else who just joined, especially to Mark from California. I hope you're getting better weather than we are at the minute.
Fixed blades. That would be wicked. Oh, Dawn. Oh,
there's an interesting.
Oh, Dawn.
You've wetted his whistle now, Dawn.
Yes. A lovely little bird and trout knife from Jack Wolf Knives. Oh, here.
That would be tasty,
let me
wouldn't it?
Right, Dawn. We'll have Ben on maybe next week, and we'll put that question to him. Is there a possibility of a bird and trout knife from Jack Wolf Knives?
Or any kind of variation on a neck knife or something like that?
Yeah, a little neck knife.
Yeah.
But I like bird and trout, so
of course you do.
You have to have some perks. Look what I have to sit with.
Well, there's that.
It's like sitting with a wife and getting nag more in here than I do in there.
I know, but let's face facts. I make you look good. So, yeah. Any other questions out there, fellas?
Another little bit of news at the end of this month, towards the end of this month, we have Michael, who's the owner of Arthur Wright Knives, and also the father of Ashley, who I get my customs from. He's coming on the channel, and he has an amazing work record. I don't even spoil it, but he's worked with his hands all his life, and it's an interesting story that I'm looking forward to, because you only know bits and pieces from Ashley. So he's coming on the end of the month, and it'll be interesting to see, because they took over a knife company. Well, his father, Michael, they took it over later on in life. Michael's, he's over 40, and he took on that's a big commitment for a knife company in this day and age.
Yeah.
It was a big commitment. I think it must be nearly 10 years. No, is it 15? No, I think he's actually only taken it over probably around 10 years, somewhere around that. They took it over. But there's a big anniversary coming up for Arthur Wright Knives.
Oh, yes.
So he's going to tell us about that. And
which would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Excellent. Knife Raven's coming back and saying it's a reverse dog leg warning.
It's a reverse dog leg warning. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's something. Yeah.
So it's a dog with a limp.
Absolutely. Okay. So, and other news. Now you probably remember that I'm Mr. Sackman to his everything else. So I was poking around on the forum. To anybody else who's interested in Sack, I was poking around on the forum and came across the thing. Just as a piece of news, was that there's a guy in Spain who is one of the sort of resources or sources of information or old truth, Swiss Army knife. And it was just a couple of pieces of news. First of all, that remember when we were talking just before Christmas about what the new special edition for 2023 would be, and it's going to be that horrendous lime green electric green. It's actually called electric yellow. They're going to release that. That's what the Alox special edition is going to be this year. So it'll be brighter than last year's sort of dull thunder gray, as it was called. But that's what it's going to be. It's going to be. It's like somebody sneezed on a Swiss Army knife.
Great description.
Radioactively, because it is really, really loud lime green. Now, I think it's going to be a fantastic color for a knife, to be honest. But it's called electric yellow, and that's the way to go. But that's not the big news. The big news from my perspective is, I think this is going to be one of the biggest years for changes in production for Victorinox since they took over Wenger at the end of the last decade, because they are going to discontinue 39 models of Swiss Army knife.
I think that's a good idea. From
their perspective, it's got to make sense, because that not everything sells in the same quantity as, I mean, they sell millions of the damn things. They're the best, most productive knife company on earth, but it's radioactive spew. Well, that would be it. So there's 39 models. Now, the reason I'm sort of throwing it out there is for a collector, if you collect these things, now is the time to get the ones that are going to be discontinued.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few. Funnily enough, they're going to discontinue the classic, the wee 58mm one.
Right.
And the only one, but now that it's sort of a red herring, because they're going to keep the classic SD, which is the one with the screwdriver on the nail file. The one with the nail cleaner on the nail file, a little point on the nail file.
Yeah.
That's the one they're discontinuing.
Right. Okay. I didn't think they would take them both away. That would be.
I know, because the classic is their bread and butter.
Yeah.
But they're also discontinuing some weird ones. So discontinuing the Midnight Manager, the Midnight Mini Champ, and they're also discontinuing almost all of the small knives with torches on them, the little LEDs on them, as well as the small knives with the wee pens on them. So the signature is going. The Midnight Mini Champ is going.
I like the Mini Champ.
Yeah, and the one that gets me more than anything, which is my favorite 58, is the Manager itself, which is just the Rambler, which is the bottle opener, knife, scissors, and with the pen in it, and that's going as well. And I think but the biggest news of all is that all of the Delamont range is going at the end of 2023. They're going to discontinue the entire Delamont range.
Well, I suppose really that had to happen.
2014
they'll not sell it on. It'll just get put away in the cupboard.
Well, Delamont was sort of a continuation of the Vega knives, and I don't think that they ever. There was a niche. There was a niche for them in terms of the old Vega collectors, and some people like the Delamont more than the proper Victorinox. I was never one of them, but it's interesting, isn't it?
In this day and age, with a company that big that makes such a huge variety of knives, to cull it down has got to be cost effective. Rather than putting the price of a knife up, culling that down will enable them to save money, and that's. I mean, I think that's wise. Why do that? There's no real need for it.
And I mean, somebody was saying that last year they made, 10 million pounds profit or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or whatever the profit is. So they're very profitable. But the trouble is, with the cost of living going up and the cost of raw materials going up, all of that is eaten into their profit margin. So they've got to find a way. I mean, steel is becoming more expensive wherever they're buying it. So now the Knife Raven's singing in there, but when they discontinued the executive. 100%. And this year, I think they've been talking about discontinuing the executive for the last 2 or 3 years. Every year comes around, and they say they're discontinuing the executive, but they hold on. But this year, apparently, 90% of the 74s are going to 74 millimeters.
It's one of my favorite knives. I have a black one, and I love it.
Yeah, I've got a black one on me, and I've been carrying it exclusively for so the executive for me, I love the knife. I've finally
like the red tip.
Yeah, you just get the
red
tools
tips,
in it, and
nice.
a wee bit of groove. But that's just the word of warning. If there are any models that you want to make sure you've got copies of, somebody mentioned there about the Super Tinker. The one, if you like the Tinker brand, they're going to discontinue the small Tinker, the Tinker Small. So if you want a Tinker Small in 84 millimeter, this is your last chance to get them.
I think I have one of them.
Yeah.
See, Knife Delights was asking, will they keep the Evo grip? I would say that's going. It's Delamont,
because it's all Delamont, the Evo grip, so they're all going.
Because I know Knife Delights has the Evo grip and loves it. Yeah. So maybe this is the year to buy some of that pattern that you love. Of course, they're always going to be around. And even on the second-hand market, they're never really overpriced unless they're very rare. But it would be nice to get one now if that's your.
Yeah, but it for me anyway, it's such a dramatic.
Yeah,
it really is a milestone in terms of the history of the company. And there's the Warncliffe Whittler. Yes, I love my wee jet setter as well. And what I did with the jet setter was I put a pen scale on it so that it's actually a jet setter signature. Or plus, pretty much. So,
I didn't even know we were going to talk. Now, Justin came right and said, I have a wee thing on sacks to talk about. I had no idea we were going to talk about sacks.
Of course.
It's the one Justin made for me. It's the one I had in my pocket.
Some of my finest work, people.
It's beautiful.
It is a lovely wee knife.
But I must open this. If you haven't seen this, I'm going to open it and let you see what's on it. It's got the opening layer, obviously, with the can opener. And the bottle opener. No, it doesn't.
No,
It doesn't have any of them. Oh,
No,
that's right. Yeah.
right.
Don't know why I was saying that. Just thought,
It's got your Phillips in line.
for goodness sake, Stephen. Ow, I just done a bloody finger. That's 2 weeks in a row. This is more like a comedy show.
You can't take him anywhere.
More like a comedy show.
So this one, for all you guys in the know, is a weird tool set specifically to Stephen's specification. So you've got a back Phillips, an inline Phillips, large blade, small blade, and of course the ubiquitous magnifying glass. And those are micarta caramel toffee scales, which are absolutely beautiful. They're Taschen measure scales.
Listen to the snap of that. He made this. It's amazing. My motion.
That snaps better than it did when I put it together. It's just got better.
Well, I enhanced it then.
Oh, obviously.
Obviously I enhanced it.
Yeah, just by association. It's what he said about my life now as well.
I've actually cut myself again. I can't believe that's twice in 2 weeks.
Knife Delights, do not, please, for the love of all that is holy, do not show him any sympathy. What you need to do. Oh, it's okay. We've got Sal in the next room.
There's no chance of me getting a kiss of life from Sal.
And Warncliffe Whittler, yes, for all those who don't get that one. For some reason, I've never understood why Victorinox only do their pens in blue. I would yes, give my eye teeth for a black ink refill myself. Absolutely. Anywho, that's enough from the sack world. What else is happening out there? Somebody was mentioning the cases culling models as well. Prop Blast. Where are we? Yeah, cases culling models too.
All right.
That's news to me. I must have never.
Yeah. No, because the only case I've watched is the SHOT Show, and I like the little Congress that they're bringing out for this year's model, and it looks beautiful. Some lovely colours in it, and they have some in CV.
Oh, very nice.
Which is my cup of tea. You're a shiny person, aren't you?
Oh, well, I'll go either way. You know me. You've corrupted me with all of this nonsense now. A bit of patina and
get this bloody thing to open. I'm going to bleed to death here. Nobody cares.
No, you're right.
I haven't had one kiss.
Do you want me to call Sally in?
Stephen dies in podcast.
I hope he keeps that knife as clean as he tells us all that he keeps them clean.
I'm doing enough licking off it anyway now.
You know, the funniest thing about this is that Stephen has just cut himself on a Swiss Army knife, probably one of the simplest. I mean, that's the knife that you give to a child. And he's cut himself.
All right, man.
I'm going to get him one of those My First Victorinox, and he'll probably still cut himself on it.
You see, Tom, this is what it's like on this podcast. I get picked on just like you do on the other one. We are soulmates.
Aye.
How to get an elastoplast out? I would bleed to death. I needed this.
Okay. Mark likes the Congress as well. I haven't seen this. I'm going to.
It's a little small Congress too, like about a 3-inch, maybe 3 1/4, but it is a small one. It's nice.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to get that this year. I've only got one Congress.
What are the scales in? You said in terms of the colors?
Yeah, there's some lovely colors. They've got new blues and some of the old original colors, but there's a huge variety of them. I think he said by the end of the year, it's going to be like 31 different patterns of the Congress.
Good grief.
So there's going to be an awful lot. They haven't got them all ready just now, but I'm going to give up here.
Knife Delight says, would you please? It's the ribs. It's Tom's ribs.
Oh, fucking.
Okay, we're going to serious up now. We're going to serious up. So what I want somebody to do in the comments, would somebody please ask Stephen to show them a specific knife from his collection, and then that means he can get all serious and starry-eyed about it. Now that he's managed to bind up his wounds.
Hey, first aid. The Navy paid $1,000 for me to be this good.
Spiros has called an ambulance. Thank you very much, Spiros. I think it may take a while to get in here from where you are, but who knows?
Spiros, you're unsubbed.
Don't threaten them. That's what they're all aiming for. Okay. Byron was just saying, I'm excited to pick up Twisted Assisted Gambler in May, June.
Yes, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I mean, I wouldn't like to think it's going to take as long as May and June. I mean,
no, it
James
should be
was
by
talking about
the
March.
It should be the end of this first quarter. So
Yeah.
March, the end of March, maybe beginning of April. But he's had no hold up so far that I know of. In fact, I was talking to him at the weekend. He said nothing. It was James that sent me this knife. He's now the.
It's not a knife, Stephen.
No,
You keep on calling
the
it
video.
a
Yeah, when you review knives, get the torch. Is not that there. This Weebit. Oh, I went the wrong place too. Oh, I really have gone bad.
It's the loss of. It's the loss of.
Yeah, that's it. I've gone weak. He's now the sole dealer for Woobin in the UK. James at Twisted Assisted. These are over on his site. This one's the aluminium, starts at about 50, and they're on sale at the minute. But it goes right up to 200. You can get the titanium, and you can get the titanium that's got all the fancy bits on it. So I just think it's a lovely little knife.
It is a great torch.
The fact that knife again. I'm not that bright. And the one thing I would like to thank is Justin got me a little brass coin. Oh, it's up here. Would you look after me?
It wasn't me. It was,
You're my carer. Be good.
It was Dan.
Justin got me this lovely little Paddy and Pals brass.
It was
Dan, not Justin.
See, he really is losing it, you know.
Dan over at Blade Bridge UK, your sack for all your sack needs. He got this made for me. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And on the back of it, it's got, this is now typical Dan, it's got the fat lad. And I love it. So thank you very much to Dan. Check him out for.
He got me one too, and on the back of it he put cockroach. Because that's what he always calls me, because I say I exploit him for cheap knives, which I don't. But maybe a little bit.
I got a nice German Puma to trade. It's stunning. Do you know, I would like a Puma. They're really lovely looking knives. They're well made knives.
What's the Puma? I haven't seen the Puma.
Puma's a make. It's a German make of knives that been going for years.
Oh, so it's they're all different models.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes. But they make fixed blades and traditional knives. But
nice.
They make a nice knife, I have to say.
I must have a look at that.
German Puma. I think they make Puma in different places, don't they? Do they make them in Spain as well? Maybe Spain and maybe even where else? I think Spain, Germany. I'm not sure where else. Anybody chip in there if they know? I think Pumas are made in the different countries.
Gotcha. Never come across the brand before.
I don't think I have one.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is now with modern collectors that have just come on the scene, all these older knives, they made beautiful knives, and especially Germany. They're one of the best producers of traditional knives out there still. Boker is still a really good traditional knife. It's got very expensive, but they're well made. You know, the only thing with things like Boker and that is you have to send them back if you got to get them fixed.
Yeah.
Now, I have about 5 or 6, but I love my Bokers. The club knife.
You've been really lucky with your Bokers. I know that, and sometimes in the conversations in the podcast we've had people with mixed experience with Boker knives, depending on what they're going for. But you've been really lucky.
I have, but I've been really lucky. But sometimes really lucky is what you'll put up with. So, I mean, this is what I mean about
there is that.
Yeah, this is what I mean about Boker. If I just show you, I mean, I do love my Bokers, but I have been willing to put up with certain things that I wouldn't if it was a GEC. Like this beautiful Boker. This is a Stockman, but it is very, very light pull.
Oh, why? That's the one, yeah.
Now, it's not dangerously light because I know how to use a slip joint. Oh, I'm going to cut myself again.
Would you like me to?
No, I can do it. I'm a big boy. Leave me alone. This is a beautiful big Boker Stockman, but I always think a Stockman needs to have a fairly stiff pull on it. Now, the bone on this, I'll bring it up so you can see the bone. The jigging on it is absolutely beautiful. That's maybe not a great picture. Not better? Yeah, there you go. It is beautiful jigging on the bone, but it is very light pull. There is snap. There's nothing wrong with it, but the large blade is, it's just not it. So, but when you get a back spring like that, that's done so well, I can put up with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And when people tell you that, as long as they're friends and they tell you what you're getting, I'm fine. The nice thing about Booker, which I do like, because a lot of the British companies would do it as well, you have a big, the ricasso is right and big, so your finger gets right up there. It's not going to close on you, unless there's a freak accident or you jump away. But I mean, as long as you're holding there, the chances of that closing is few and far between. Yeah. The chances of me using it's far and few between because I have so many knives. But I do love it.
The chances of Stephen cutting himself with the knife.
Yeah, but few and far between. But this is one of my favorite Bokers here. This is the Boker Club knife.
Just a second. Warncliffe Whittler, am I going to have to say to speak to your mother? Really? Really? What? Is this what we've come to?
What?
Who doesn't love a stiff pull? Excuse me. It's not a carry-on show.
It is with us. Well, no, I'll rephrase that. It is with me. This is the Desert Ironwood, the Boker Club knife, which is one of my favorite knives in my whole collection. It is such a lovely. It's a fat spear. It's just a lovely, lovely knife.
And Byron's just mentioned the Barlow. So yeah. This is Stephen's Boker Barlow. I think the one with the tree brand in it as well, and that is a lovely little knife.
It's my card. I think there was a special run.
It's beautiful.
But here's a Justin one. This is the biggest one I've got in my Boker collection. It's a Justin knife, just in case.
Yes. Is that the cutest thing?
No. It is. And that's a USA made Boker, because they used to make Boker knives in the USA. And the standard of the quality of the Bokers USA made is fantastic. If you ever get the chance to buy one, just get one.
It's just a lovely wee pen.
It really is lovely. The jigging, look at the jigging on that bone. It's beautiful.
It is just perfect. And that's an old knife, isn't it?
Oh, there's Gizmo's in.
Hey, Gizmo.
Yeah, that's a beautiful old knife. I just love that.
And I mean, is that the equivalent of a peanut then, or?
Yeah, the same size of peanut.
Because one of the guys earlier on was saying that if you can, you could say to Ben that they would love to see a Jack Wolf peanut. If he did a peanut,
yeah. Well, it would probably need to be a single-bladed peanut, but that's even more, because he's got the big bro. We'll be bringing the little bro back out this one, and a peanut bro.
Yep. Although I think they should call it the wee Jud.
Yeah, that's that Boker. Oh, see, there we go. Let me get this up there. That's the Boker with a peanut. It's just, there you go. It's about the same, exactly the same size as the peanut. It's a wee case peanut in beautiful burnt orange. So yeah, there's a lot of knives. Like, this is a beautiful Shatton Morgan knife. And again, this is where, if you're collecting older knives and secondhand knives, these are some of the things that I think of when I'm getting them. It is beautiful. The bone is beautiful. The covers are beautiful. The high polish on these was just beautiful. But look, it's probably about a 2. It is that weak. It is 2. The back one is just a tiny wee bit, but there's no sound at all. But I paid it at a price where I don't mind. I can use this knife.
Yeah.
I'm not worried, because there's a ricasso.
But there's something
it's missing
about it. Yeah.
There is missing. But when you put your collection out in a big line and look at it, you can't tell the difference. And it tricks my brain into thinking. But I mean, I love collecting this. I got it at a price that was fantastic. So you get them, you accept them for what they are. I have no fear in using it. But for me to sell this on to somebody, I'd put them off before I would sell it to them.
No,
you know what I mean? And that's the thing with selling secondhand. The more honest you are about your knife, when you go back to that person, he'll be honest with you, and that's the joy of it. So yeah, I've got a lot of knives, not a lot, that are not great, as in the pull of the knives.
No, Baron's just saying that Boker apparently are considering bringing some manufacturing back to the US within the next 5 years.
Fantastic. Well, that'll be really good for the US as well. I mean, that's another company over there that's going to be making knives. And if they're making them for them. Hello, Mr. Fermanaman. How are you doing? That's a friend of mine from Bushcraft days.
Oh, right, gotcha.
I keep telling them I was a bushcrafter, and nobody believes me I was a bushcrafter.
Yeah.
because I wiped all my channel. I don't know why I done that, but I just done it, so I don't have it anymore. But Mr. Savannah still, I think he still does a bit of bushcraft. He loves going out with his shotguns and his dog. He has hunting dogs, and he shows training of the hunting dogs. So go check his channel out, Mr. Fermanaman. Really nice fella. Well, he's all right, but he is a nice fella.
He's another one of us from Northern Ireland, so it's anybody's.
He's a wee bit madcap, but that's good. Moose, how you doing? Great to see you.
We've got a good crowd, didn't we?
We'll have a great crowd. It's lovely.
So any questions, fellas?
Yeah, give us a wee question, or give us, any new knives you've got. Let us discuss them and say what we think of them. Maybe that's not a great idea.
What have you got for us? Jason was saying he'd be all over a wee Jack Wolf knife peanut single blade like a trampoline. There's an expression for you. So
has anybody got a new knife on there? They've got a computer. If you want to come on, even on your phone,
we can send
and show us your knife. We'll send you a link. First knife for your child.
That would be nice. I'm just wondering what I've got here myself.
I've got a drawer full here, but I don't want to keep show. Oh, I will show off.
Yes.
No, go on. You look for one too.
No.
Because the next time we've got a dead space, because you're not answering questions, asking questions.
Exactly. Well, I don't think I've shown anybody this one. So this was my last, one before last Ashley purchase. So I had asked Ashley for a wee workback spear, as he calls it, because I love his spear point blades. I just think they're absolutely amazing. And I wanted one in stag. Now look at the stag and then the handle there. It flares at the end. Yeah, it's just amazing. But as always, it's his workback spear, which means that he does the spine work in terms of the engraving on the back of it. Now, Stephen doesn't particularly like the work on the back of the spine.
No, the work, it's just that pattern I don't like. I mean, I like the work. To look at it's lovely.
Yeah,
it's just
of course,
the pattern.
it's Michael stuff.
It's just the pattern.
It's just that particular pattern. But this one is a cracking knife. It's just a lovely one. But
it's absolutely perfect, that knife, and it just looks amazing.
It does. It really does. And I was so pleased with the stag, because the stag is some of the most beautiful stag I've seen, I have to say.
Arthur Wright stag as well is not bad either. It's not obviously up to custom standard, but it is good stag. Yeah, I'd have no problem. The thing I like with Arthur Wright, when they make even their budget knives, and you have that basic wood that they use, it's rosewood.
Yes.
They use basic rosewood, but they finish it properly. Where the difference being, I suppose I'm going to have to show that. Let me just show you what I mean.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
What was that? Right. This is
what I'm going to do, Paul, is I'm going to take the word that out of that comment, and so that it will just leave Jud is gorgeous. It's been like 50 years since anybody said that to me.
So an inch clip and an Ottermaster 3 rivet. Now that's a good carry. That Ottermaster 3 rivet is beautiful. I just wish
the Ottermaster do a nice knife.
They do, but that 3 rivet one especially, I love it because it's like 3 bird eye rivets. But the blade is over 3 inches, so it's not legal here. It's the only reason I haven't got one, to be honest. So there's the two knives. The darker one is the Arthur Wright, and it's rosewood, and the
smaller one.
Yeah, the
smaller
one is the Taylor's Eyewitness. Sorry, I couldn't get that word out. The Taylor's Eyewitness. But these are both their basic models. Now, this is a bit cheaper than the Arthur Wright, but not by a whole lot. But it's just a dry, hard wood. There's nothing. Now, this has been a well-used one. When they come, there's really not appealing. Whereas Arthur Wright, that's the difference in. They finish it off well. It's polished. It's been, it's had wax put on it, whatever they put on it to give it that nicer finish. And that's why you pay a wee bit extra. And it really is worth it. Now, once you go up the range, they're both extremely good knives, no matter what you get. They make a good knife. Lee White is an excellent knife maker, like Ashley. And, you're getting a really good knife. But just on the basics, if you ever ask me a question, if it's on just the wooden handle, I would say go for the Arthur Wright. But this is what I like. The bolster on the Taylor's Eyewitness is beautiful. I love that detail of that bolster. I really think it stands out. So this is my favorite working knife. I use this regular. Between this one and my Ashley Harrison one that he made. This is a custom, but it was a custom he sold on his channel, on his Instagram for £50. He had 2 of them. I bought one. Some other fellow was on there. If you're on there at the right time, you pick the bargains up. So, but that's beautiful. I love the wood just on this. It's gorgeous.
Gizmo's asking is if the firework makes the back spring weaker.
It does.
No, he's asking if it does.
I would say definitely no. Well, I'm saying that because it's been done. Fireworks been done through the centuries. I wouldn't have thought, unless it was really deep.
The other thing, Gizmo, is if you've ever had an Arthur Wright knife, weak springs are not going to be a concern.
No,
and a case in point of that actually is your most recent, Ashley.
Yeah. Here's one that I strained my wrist on,
now,
no comments.
I'm not even going to let him open this because he did himself an injury last time. So this, where would it go?
Was it out?
I don't think
no
idea.
Of
course, we'll have to find it first, but we'll have a look for it in a sec.
I must have sold it.
Has it gone to the back?
Oh, there it is.
There it is. There.
This is a knife Justin got made for me, and this is an Arthur Wright. And I can say, of all the knives I've ever had, this one is at least a 9.5, if not 9 3/4. It is an absolute beast, but I love it. And if you've got any sort of a weak wrist, like I obviously have, I used it for the first couple of days. I didn't stop because I was trying to be a man and just pulling it out. And I pulled all the tendons up inside my wrist. So now I use my fingernail. It goes in at the bottom and I push up the way and it's fine. But if you try to pull that out, it's a 9.5. This is just an absolute beast of a knife.
It's a gorgeous,
beautiful knife. And I can't thank Justin enough. It was just an amazing present. And I love it.
It's Ashley's version of the Lanny's clip. And I have to say, and
it would just take your hand off.
It registers on the Richter scale, basically. So
it's gorgeous.
That is just a cracker.
Really nice knife.
We do have some. I'm going to run through a couple of these, Steve.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we've got Knife Delights. Tom is just saying that his first knife of 23 was Buck Chairman Model 301. Is this the one that made you fall over and break your ribs, Tom, or was it?
It is beautiful. It really is. Look, I must give them a plug out. It's RJ's channel, but there's a few of us are on every week, the old boring ones. Tom is one of them. It had to happen. But RJ's Knives, if you go on every Sunday night in the UK, it starts at 6:30. So in the States, that's between somewhere in the morning and somewhere at lunchtime, depending on where you are in the States. But he always, Knife Delights always puts a wee video up beforehand, reminding people when it's coming on. But if you're in the UK, 6:30 Sunday evening, we talk for about 2.5, 3 hours. Most of it's a lot of old twaddle, but it's fun twaddle. And we're just talking about knives and life and reminiscing to cowboy movies last night. I just can't beat it. I just have such a joy. It's my biggest. I prefer his than mine. I love having the chat. So please come over and check him out. You know, he hasn't got a lot of subs yet, and he just give him a bit of support. RJ's Knives, give them support. And the boys he has on, we're all middle-aged fellas that talk about knives. But RJ has had younger ones on the show as well.
And personally, I can imagine nothing more interesting than listening to this old geezer talk for even longer than I have to put up with normally. Warrencliffe Whittler is asking, do you plan on adding an Ettrick to your collection?
No, don't like him,
Paddy. Well, that was a straight answer.
No, I just don't like them. I have no use. If I've whittled properly or done something, cut flowers or worked in a garden, I'm sure they're perfect. But I personally, no, I just don't like them. Don't like them.
Fair enough.
Too thin and bendy.
Too thin and bendy.
That's a technical term, by the way. Irish Technical Society.
Now, here's a controversial question that he's going to have some difficulty answering, but I think I know which way he's going to go. Paul H is asking, what's your favorite modern traditional?
Oh, Jack Wolf knife. Yeah, it's just, to be honest with you, there's a couple of really nice ones I've had this last year that I really like. There's one there. That's the
Ace Farley.
The Ace Farley, I think, is an amazing little pen knife.
I love this knife, I must admit, and that's what I was saying to Stephen, is that just the feel of it in hand and the fact that it is so elegant and well, again, for my girly hands, small and just perfect size.
And I have large hands, and yet I love it as well.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So I've put down a few there in front of Justin. Well, I can take one. You take another one there.
So this one is just a cracker. This is the Hedgehog from QSP, and this is just, I think Heine's got it out at the minute.
Yeah, Heine's got them, and they've got them in carbon fiber as well now. So.
Yeah. But I have to say, carbon fiber, you can take your carbon fiber and you can stick it up your fawn jersey.
Yeah.
Because this micarta is to die for. It really is. It's scalloped and shaped along the top of the spine. You see, I've been listening to his reviews, and I have to say, it is probably...
But it's hollow ground. It's a really thin grind on it too.
Blade, but it's so comfortable in hand. You know, I mean, it's, to be honest, not my favorite blade shape. It's sort of that cleaver come razor kind of thing, but it is unusual and yeah.
But it's around the £60 or something, which I think is really good for what you're getting. It's the quality is excellent.
Yeah, it's 14C20.
14C20 at end, which is another great steel. I'm not going to say budget steel because it's not a budget steel. It's just a good steel. Yeah. There's the Who knives. Is another one, modern traditional. Love it.
And then we've got the Best Tech Jinsey from Twisted Assisted in D2. So it's a really good value knife. I mean, it's the shape and form of this is just absolutely fantastic.
It really is. And the fact that you can get the handles, a new handle material, on it, $7.99. You know,
and he was doing
the
shipwreck ones at the minute, in various colors. They're just amazing looking.
So it's so easy to change that knife up if you ever get bored for different color scales. And but now I'll have to say, every one of these that I've got that you've just been showed, they're all ones that I got from companies to review. And there's not one of them, if you've ever handled one, you couldn't say they're bad. You might not like the design or the shape. And when I review knives, I'm not reviewing as a personal thing, because some of them I'll not use and some of them I'll pass on and sell, because that's how I keep the channel going. But there's not one of them knives that you were showing there by Justin and myself that I could say is a bad knife, or there was, there's very little wrong with them. So don't listen to a lot of this nonsense saying reviewers are going to tell you, they're good because they are. I tell you they're good because they are, and people then come back to me, and that's the joy I get in my channel. When somebody comes back and says, I bought this on your recommendation and I love it, you couldn't give me money that would make me feel any happier than that.
Yeah.
It's lovely. So yes, I do get a few given to me, but that's over a year, that's not a lot of knives compared to a lot of other ones. Now, yes, I get my Jack Wolf once a month, but I maybe only had about 8 knives that were given to me throughout that whole year, apart from Jack Wolf. Now, I was given more, but some don't make it to my channel if they're bad. And I was asked to do other ones, and I refused.
Just because they didn't
suit my channel, or I didn't think so.
He took his mother's advice, and he does it. If you're not going to say something nice about somebody don't say anything.
It is.
Moose is just saying that he's got the Lander from NAFS. Is that the Banter?
Yes, and he's brought out a new one again, which is just a little bit bigger, and I think I'm going to try and get that as my sort of mid-range knife for this year.
Yeah, I really like the Lander. Look at the Lander. It's elegant and simple, and it's a nice thing. But Moose is saying that he doesn't like that it's on ball bearings.
Yeah, a lot of modern traditionals are on ball bearings, but not all. And I would agree with you. I quite like a knife that's on washers, probably more, because they feel a bit loose. When you're trying to, I don't know, they just feel a bit too easy to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I maybe use the pull. I like the pull of that's why I like my traditional knives.
Yeah.
And, they'll get my traditional knives to get carried more than my modern traditional, but I still like my modern traditional.
Yeah. No, it's funny because when we're starting to get into it, just over COVID and whatever else, that's what that period of time is going to be called now. Um, it seemed to me that all of the modern folders seem to be moving towards the technology of the bearing thing, as opposed to the phosphor bronze washers or whatever else. They were moving away, and I never quite got the technology side.
I think that's the younger ones sort of want that flickability to play. Yeah, you got to be able to play with a knife, or it's not good. There's somebody saying there, the
G-slip.
Jason, yeah. I mean, there's quite a few. If you go into Heine Haynes at the minute in the UK, they've got quite a few titanium knives that are exclusives to them, and they're at such reasonable prices.
And I have to say, Jason, the G-slip, I have the G-slip compact, the Heine Special, and I wore that exclusively, or carried that exclusively over the summer, because it's such a light, lovely knife. I just a slim and very, very easy to carry, especially if you're wearing shorts. You just didn't feel it in any way, shape, or form. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely wee knife.
Well, I'm going to give you a wee exclusive. My first budget knife of the year is going to be a £50 knife, because my budget is what I call budget to me is 50 and below. I know there's people who are much lower than that, and I was at one stage, but I've got to be honest, that's the knives that I would rather spend the money on now, is £50 sort of ish. But I'm going to be buying myself the
if you can remember. Is it gone?
K-Bar. The K-Bar Dozier, which I've had many of, but I'm going to buy the D2 version because I want to use it in place of the Benchmade bug out. If you watch Shot Show, have you seen the price it's being raised to? It's disgraceful. It's £200 odd for a new bug out. Now, not a fancy one, just a new bug out. And I just think that's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? So it's not that good a knife. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to buy the Dozier as my bug out killer.
Oh, there you go.
So I seen one today. Heine have got them in today. So I'll maybe order that tomorrow.
Well, speaking of K-Bar or K-Bar or whatever way you want to do it, if Baron's just saying that his favorite Jackhoff knife is the Benny's Clip and the Jungle Fat Carbon. But big news, his most exciting blade for 2023 is the Spartan Marsoc Pine Bar in Magna Cut, which is basically a USB port K-Bar. Yeah. Oh. You gotta send us a photo, Baron. You gotta send us a photo, please.
Yeah,
he's actually drilling here.
A K-Bar is another knife I want this year. I want the Buck 102. So I've got a few knives that are different than my normal look. Like the knife for that one.
Where are we going?
Knife for what? Benchmade. Oh, sorry.
Where are we?
Mr. from Anaman. Mini Osborne. Yeah, that is my favorite. One of my favorite locking knives. Just beautiful. I've just showed it earlier on there. I also have the 940, which I absolutely love as a working knife, and a screwdriver. One of the best screwdrivers out there.
So is that the 945?
That's the 945. Sorry, I'm being a bit.
I've never heard it called a Mini Osborne before. So
yeah, it's these are Osborne made. This is an Osborne design, and he passed away just recently. That's the 940, and then I'm going to put the 94. Maybe get up a wee bit closer, can we, for them?
Yeah, sure.
Do you see the difference in size? There's the difference in size. So it is quite a bit smaller than the 940, and it, but yet here's it in my hand. Like I have I'm a sort of medium to large hand, and it fills my palm there. You know what I mean? So I can get a grip on it. It's maybe not the most comfortable. I wouldn't want to do 3 hours work, but I'm never going to do 3 hours work with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to pick it out, cut something. It's comfortable enough. I can sneak up, which is more comfortable, but it is just a wee. I would say you would have to be a wee bit more knife savvy. To sneak up there. It's not meant for sneaking up, but that's what I would hold it most of the time.
Positively dangerous. Nice one.
Yeah.
Swamp Stomper is asking, are Lee and Ashley the top handmade production guys in Sheffield these days, or is there anywhere else to look at in their caliber and price range?
Yeah, there's Stephen Cocker, who's another really good one.
He does some beautiful knives. But he does more multi-bladed knives, doesn't he?
He's very good at multi-bladed knives.
Yeah.
That would be his forte, you know. He's follow Stephen Cocker on Instagram,
Absolutely.
and he's just been to a show where one of his knives was put up for the exhibition, and it's a multi-bladed. I think it's about a 12 to 16 multi-bladed knife. Yeah, and you want to see the ones that they have there. Yeah. They've got maybe 50 different blades on a knife. So yeah, that's Stephen Cocker. Follow him on Instagram. And there's another fella, and his name has gone right out of my head, which is nothing unusual.
Who's that?
I can't even read that. I haven't got my big glasses in here.
You see it? It just says made in Sheffield, mate.
Oh, what's his name?
Can't remember.
Is his name not on it?
No, it's not.
I'll get his name and I'll let you know the next podcast. I've forgotten his name.
Stephen Cocker, though, he's actually very approachable. So even if you're interested in any of his knives and you want to drop him a line on Instagram, he will get back to you and let you know how you could maybe order or what he's got in stock or whatever. He's probably like Ashley with his customs, where you have to be lucky to get them.
The thing is, they're both working men. If Stephen works for another, well, it's probably a conglomerate of about 3 or 4 companies, and he makes their knives, and then in his spare time he does his own custom. So very much like Ashley, you know, you just have to keep on asking, looking, checking back at their Instagram. It is the only way to get them, sadly. But, well, not sadly. I'm glad it's like that, because if it wasn't like that, they wouldn't be popular. They would just be an everyday knife, and they're not. There's my little knife this week. That's an absolute beauty. This is my little bunny knife. Oh, let me just see. There you go. Can you see that? This is a GEC bunny knife. I think that bunny knife on the scale is going to disappear very shortly. It's starting to do my head in. I think I'm going to take that off. But this is a user. This is an ebony wood, and it's just lovely and dark. It is a beautiful knife. And it's very much it's the same shape and size as a boy's knife. Well, there's a slight difference. There's a bit of a kink here that comes, you know, it comes round a wee bit more. Now, not like, you know, like a gun grip that it ducks down. That's what this does, but very, very slightly. It's a bit wider at the bottom than a 15, but it's a beautiful knife. I've been carrying this for a few days now. I absolutely love it.
And this is the man who doesn't like multi-bladed knives.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it must have done something.
It's really traditional. Do you know what I mean? And I think that sometimes just get me. It's got a lovely bit of wood on it, Gabon ebony, and I didn't have many Gabon ebony. There's only one other, well, 2 other, because that Remington, would you believe, is Gabony, but it's very brown.
It is actually. It's completely different from that.
Tom of Knife Delights has a Buck 102 in ebony, and it's like blonde. It is the most beautiful color. Really beautifully finished knife.
Excellent. Have you ever had a sword?
Yeah, I've had a few swords.
There's Spiros and got the sword peasant knife there with wood handles last week, and he quite likes it. So
yeah,
I've never had one. I've seen them, but they look very much like me to be the same kind of class of knife as an open L or something like that. But I don't know.
No, they're a thicker working blade. They're more of a working blade.
And are they a friction folder?
Yeah, and the tang goes back further. So when you hold on, you've even more security, if you like. It's not gonna. It might break a little bit, but you'll catch the majority of it in your palm of your hand. It's not going to catch you. It doesn't come down that low. But they're a good working knife. Now, the blades are all right. Yeah. You'll have to sharpen them a lot, but they're not thin. You can either put a really low angle grind, but it's not that sort of knife. To me, it's the sort of knife. It's like a knife you want to use for just rough work.
Yeah. So
and that's
gardening and
that sort of thing. Yeah.
Peasant kind of.
And you can buy the small. The small one's nice, and then there's a large one. And the small is lovely for wee hands.
Yeah, Paul was just saying that he'd have to use his teeth to open that Ashley that we showed you.
Oh, definitely.
And then Prop Blast, have you ever earned a hen and rooster?
Yes.
Oh, you had to ask Prop Blast, didn't you? Because I know which one he's going to bring out now, or at least I think I do. Is that the fighting knife?
The fighting rooster, yeah, I think that's my hen and rooster.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's not the one I thought it was.
Is that the bulldog or is that the fighting rooster?
That's a swing low sweet chariot.
It should say on the tang what it is.
It's yep.
Yeah.
No, is that? Where's your man?
Let me see.
Frank last gone. I'm as blind as you are, big guy. Frank Buster.
Frank Buster.
No.
Be Hen and Rooster, is it? Yeah.
It is indeed Hen and Rooster. There you go.
Frank Buster, Hen and Rooster. It's a Stockman. Again, this is not particularly strong, but it's such a beautiful knife in the most gorgeous bone.
Am I going to have to open that for you?
It's not bone, it's horn.
I think I must be jinxing him because he never does this on his own podcasts.
There's the
alongside him.
There's the Toggle 2 shield. Beautiful shield, and there's a lovely swing low sweet chariot on the blade from that famous song. But it's a beautiful, and look at the bone, the figuration on that bone. Not bone, it's horn. It's horn, it's not bone, but it is absolutely stunning on both sides. I have to say, beautiful knife. One of my favorite collection pieces.
Very nice.
One of my favorite. See, I tend to not collect a whole lot of one knife pattern or company. I like to have as many as I can of each company, and then if I see another one that's good, it'll join it, and that's how I've tended to build my collection up. Like a lot of people will buy a case trapper, then they'll buy 6 case trappers that are, you know, different bones and whatever. That's not the way I collect at all. I very rarely have 2 knives that are exactly the same pattern, unless they're a different company.
And I can see that. I mean, my collection started with Swiss Army knives, and it was almost when you start collecting knives, you just buy every knife that'll come your way to a certain extent. But then when you got me into the traditionals, it really does become a case of, you know, exploring all of the different options, I think, rather than just going down one particular route. But it works both ways.
Exactly.
I mean, some people exactly. There's a guy who used to be on the forum who every time it was like that film with Mel Gibson. He had to go and buy, you know, The Catcher in the Rye every time he was in a bookshop. He has to buy a Ranger every time he sees a Ranger,
right? You know?
And he's got like Rangers all over the shop. So some people are like that as well. But
very much.
I like the variety as well, I must admit. But then you've corrupted me. Who is this? Somebody was saying, I can't read your name here.
Moose, thank you very much. Give us a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, this is not what I normally do on my channel, but I do it every now and then. But please come ahead, join the channel, and I'll let you know if you hit the like and subscribe button. And there's another wee button that makes you, it's not right, it gives you the upgrade. I never do this. There's another wee button that if you hit it, the bell.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like
he's the professional YouTuber. I'm just here for the gas.
It's like the Alzheimer's Appreciation Society here. And I'm only saying that because it's not meant to be. My father died with Alzheimer's, but it's just sometimes I wonder, am I getting there?
You've arrived.
Arrived.
Warncliffe Whitler is just saying that he's, and now I have to say, WW, I worry about you. If you're pushing 40 and you don't understand modern lives, you may be something of a lost cause. But keep listening. We'll explain it all to you.
No, don't go to modern knives. Go to traditionals.
Do everything. Honestly, you're still young.
To be honest, for years, when I first started, I bought locking knives and flipper knives because I had never seen them for sale before here. And I was a bushcrafter, and you'd see them on there. And then they started to say, oh, there's other big companies out there that don't just sell, you know, bushcraft knives. Once I started looking at them, I was hooked. So I bought locking knives, flick knives, all sorts, because that's what I thought I wanted to go down. And it took me about 4 years to get back out of it again. You do go awful deep and you spend a lot of money on knives. I don't have most of them now. I changed about 2 years ago, going back into slip joints. This is what I started off as a boy. I've gone back to slip joint nearly exclusively, but I still like to have the security blanket of having, you know, a dozen good locking knives that I enjoy using. And I don't envisage that getting bigger.
Yeah.
Are you after more locking knives, or have you sort of?
No, I've got every now and again I'll see if I can get. There's I'd love a power 3, and I
Uh-huh.
would love the 945.
Yeah, it's too brilliant.
And I mean, but I think you're right. Once you've been down the rabbit hole to a certain extent and come back out again, it's what you can carry and what you can use without getting into trouble in our place as much as anything else. It's nice to have them in the background.
Yeah.
But then again, let's never say never.
No.
Because somebody will post a lovely knife that you just can't say no to on one of the forums or whatever.
Definitely.
On Facebook, and you'll just have to get it, and it'll be I don't think I'll ever regret buying a knife.
Moose, I will definitely, and I'm sure, a really big welcome to Jack and Maya. Really glad to see you on the channel. Your dad's a really nice man. You be good to him. Look after him today.
Absolutely. Right, lads, I think that we've been on for just over an hour, nearly an hour and 15 minutes. So I think
that's disappeared.
I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for coming along. Sorry it was a bit higgledy-piggledy. It was just us getting back into it. And the internet went for some reason. I don't know. That doesn't normally happen. And we'll do this by the end of the month. We've got Michael Harrison coming on from Arthur Wright Knives. I think that's a one. Do not miss it, because Ashley was really good as well. He might pop in that night because they're the same family, and they'll probably do it in the workshop.
Yeah.
So yeah, please look forward to that. Justin, thank you very much for all the behind the grounds. As you know, I couldn't read and do the podcast, so Justin does both now, and it's fantastic.
And thanks for all your questions, guys. It's been a blast.
Really appreciate it.
Keeps the conversation going.
And if you've missed something that you should have asked while you were here, write it down in the description below, or in the comments below, and we'll talk about it the next time we're on doing one of these. But I always go back and check anyway, and I'll bring the questions forward at the next podcast. But thank you very much indeed. If anybody's new here, you're very welcome. And yes, this channel is haphazard, sometimes a bit funny and dangerous. See you all next time. Take care.
All the best, guys. Bye.